Welcome to Cerebral Women in Paris Art Talks podcast. I'm Phyllis Hollis, your host. Years ago, after hearing an artist say art will save us, my intellectual curiosity was sparked, and I began a journey to understand exactly how. Through conversations with visual artists and the professionals who support them, I explore how art helps us see our history, our culture, our lives, and the experience of others in ways no other medium can. Capturing these voices is essential. They remind us of the power of art and the importance of noticing life's simple beauty. And now, here in Paris, a city that has long welcomed the daring, the dreamers, and the defiant, I continue these conversations where art breathes, questions, and reminds us that creation itself is an act of liberation. Welcome and enjoy Cerebral Women in Paris. This episode features Siri Khandavilli. She is a multidisciplinary artist whose practice fluidly bridges tradition and innovation, drawing deeply from Indian artistic legacies while engaging in a broader contemporary dialogue. Working across sculpture, painting, and printmaking, she dissolves boundaries between disciplines to explore themes of cultural migration, feminism, ecology, mythology, and the nature of reality. Her artistic foundation was shaped from an early age when she began her artistic journey learning traditional painting under the tutelage of her aunt. She holds a BFA and an MFA in Intermedia, as well as another MFA in sculpture. This diverse education informs a practice that is both meticulous and experimental, embracing elements of chance while also reflecting history, tradition, and transformation. A recurring motif in her work is the act of mirroring, both literally and conceptually. The pursuit of the perfect image led her to invent a mirror finish on her canvases, blurring the distinction between painting and reflection. The image on the canvas is constantly being created in the present, yet carries memories and imprints of the past. Siri also engages in an ongoing exploration of the tension between control and unpredictability, a theme that permeates her sculptural practice. Please visit cerebralwoman.com for her expanded bio and enjoy this episode featuring Siri Khandavilli. Welcome to my podcast, Siri. I'm looking forward to our conversation.
Thank you for having me, Phyllis. It's so wonderful that you found me and we are having this conversation.
When did you discover your artistic passion?
I grew up in a family of artists. My father was a filmmaker. My aunts all made art. My aunt was a national awardee in Mysore Traditional Painting. My other aunt introduced vegetable carving to India. So I just grew up with a lot of art around me. My grandmother used to conduct theater workshops. Artists, writers, filmmakers, actors came over to our home almost every evening to have coffee. So it was kind of a meeting point. So I kind of grew up with art around me to a point that I don't think I could have become anything else.
Let's talk about your practice. I haven't seen your work in person. I've only seen it online. It's fascinating. So if you would share with us, how do you define your practice?
That's a tough question. I don't define it. I don't know. Maybe my English is bad, but I believe in making art that I really need to make. I don't know how to say this in better words, but it's like something that comes intuitively. It's an urge to make things happen. Like I don't see it in person. So I make art that I really need.
So within painting, performance, video, and installation, what is most invigorating?
Right now, I'm enjoying painting. The series is called Shunya. It looks like mirror, but they're on canvas. I'm really enjoying them. It looks simple, but it's a long process. And I really enjoy the works myself. Each work, even though superficially looks similar, each one has a vibe to it. Thoroughly enjoying this process right now. And I also love sculpture, metal sculpture.
And so how has your practice changed over time?
Like I said, I grew up in a family with artists. My aunt was a Mysore Traditional Painter, which is a kind of Indian miniature painting, but not the North Indian style that is mostly more popular than, around the world. But this is slightly different. My aunt was a teacher and I started learning at home Then I went to Chitrakala Parishath, which is a art institute in Bangalore, India. She was teaching there as well, so I learned under her for a year. Then I got arranged married. Then I came to US, did my bachelor's in interdisciplinary arts. So from Mysore Traditional Painting, I started making video art, computer-based art and stuff for my bachelor's and master's. But then I felt the need to get back to making things with my hand in person. So we moved back to India. At the same time, I started learning traditional South Indian bronze techniques and sculpture making. So my work changed. I started making these chola type bronzes that became quite popular, I guess. And then again, I changed back to these paintings that look absolutely empty. They're just mirrors on canvases. So works have been changing all through my artistic practice. And like I said, I just do things intuitively, like whatever's happening, whatever I think I should be exploring is what I explore.
How did your art professors impact the work you do?
So I got arranged married and I came to US as a young person. I came from a very traditional place where my father passed away when I was 9 and my mom brought me up. She didn't think that it was a profession or a thing that I would do. So she thought that I'm just a housewife kind of person. So when I came to US, I had these professors who were incredible. I went to Arizona State University and I had this particular professor called Muriel Magenta, a very strong woman. She became my mentor and she changed how I think about myself. And that's been an important part. I mean, more than the art. Yes, I learned a lot of things about art from these people, but I think how to see myself in the world, how to self-actualize, I guess, to see myself removed from the original circumstances I come from. So they were mentors in that sense. So Muriel Magenta is very important to me.
What materials do you use in your work?
I use metal. I love metal. Like even in the paintings, it's pure metal. And I love metal sculptures. I love bronze. I love silver. I have expensive taste in materials. It's mostly metals. I love metal works. And I also feel, like I said, I come from this where I used to feel like so small and tiny. And I feel like working with hard metal makes me feel good.
So working with the metals, was there an artist whose work you've seen that gave you these ideas or provided that inspiration?
I'm not sure, because I don't think there's a direct distillation or direct transfer of that kind of idea for me. Because in a strange way, I try not to be like others in a strange way. But the process itself guides. I do travel to Jaipur a lot. So when you're sitting in the foundry, you see the processes. Like I make these works where I draw in the sand and I pour hot metal over it, and drawing is either accepted or rejected by the metal itself. These kind of things happen in the process. So I'm not sure I would say I'm inspired in that direct sense. But I've had artists, I like their philosophies more than like their idea of like what is life or what is art and what is art making. Those things impact me more than like the processes or the outcomes of the object.
When do you know work is finished?
Intuitively. It's like orgasming, I guess. I don't know. You just feel good. I guess you feel you're happy with the result. I don't know. It's done. It's good. You felt good.
Do you listen to music while you're working?
Generally not, because I'm in foundries and loud spaces, so no, not there. And while painting too, I do have silence actually, but I do sit with them after I've finished with sometimes music, but generally there's silence. Sorry to disappoint, like no exciting music there, but I like silence sometimes. So yeah, not sometimes, all the time. So
when do the titles of your work enter the creative process?
I don't think there's a clear path how I come to works, because I experiment, I play, I just roam around. But I do think like when you're thinking or when there's a budding idea, there are these words that are there lingering in your brain that may come again and again into your brain when you think about this work. And that's how I choose it. For example, for my title, Shunya, which means zero actually, or nothing, but it's not a nothing like in the sense of like nothing, but it's everything. These kind of ideas kind of ripple, and I feel like it's like in a pond which is muddied, and sometimes like these images come clear and then they go back again. they become unclear. So there are these words that come up and go away. And those words, it's almost like I catch them and then I give it to the work as a title.
If you weren't a visual artist, what career path do you think you would have chosen?
I would have been a filmmaker. I would have loved to still make films at some point, direct films. My father was a film director. I grew up on studio sets. I had a lot of friends who were theater actors and film artists. I think I like cinema a lot.
How do you keep learning?
Traveling, meeting people, being curious, going to see other people's art, walking around, roaming, wandering. I believe in wandering a lot. Like wandering in the sense of like, I feel like you cannot force art making. It's a way of being, you're just playing and figuring out things, and then it happens as a result of all that. So that's how I guess I learn and also make art.
And when you're working, are you aware of any concepts or experiences that are reflected in your work?
I do. For example, I have some works which I make melting pressure cookers, aluminum pressure cookers. That's one material I use often. I've made these works which are like vegetable cutting boards, which have like woodcuts carved into them and then filled with bronze. I do understand like the material meaning of it and what it means and why I'm making them, because I feel, I spent some time like where I was not making work and it was all domestic life and I was frustrated, and I feel like I've used materials as a way of transforming that experience into art. Sometimes I'm unaware, I guess. I do let my subconscious just bubble up. But I do think that some materials and things I'm aware of why I do that, and it gives me pleasure.
Does drawing play a role in your work?
Yes. In fact, the other day I was telling a friend, like, how I sometimes suffer because of my expensive taste in materials, like metal. Like I'm obsessed with metal and I like large works. But drawing is the most closest, it's the most immediate, intimate thing. It's like it's attached to your body kind of thing. And it's what I can do easily anywhere, anytime. So I do drawings, but I came to this extreme simplicity with Shunya, which was kind of like satisfying in itself, but also frustrating because I also like making and drawing and details and stuff. That's how I found a way of making these 2-3 series where one is like all drawing based, like the woodcuts. They're like, they start off as like extremely complicated drawings first, or the drawings which I make on the sand become sculpture directly. There is no in between mold making. It's just direct drawing becoming a sculpture, which I think is exciting. So drawing is everything. I think drawing is love.
Do you recall how you felt when you first started to experiment with the metals and realize that you could create paintings that look like mirrors?
In a way, I think maybe there might be a little search for a particular finish happened, because this was like, I was seeing a lot of movies and I thought, okay, like I'm going to start painting movie images. Like, I was obsessed with Holy Mountain and, movies like that and cinematic works like that. I thought I wanted to paint imagery. But then I felt the perfect image was going to be a mirror, and I wanted it on a canvas, because canvas has been carrying the idea of what is image making, and I wanted this mirror, which is in my mind the best, it makes the best images, because imagery is here and now, perpetually true at any moment, any geography, any time. So that was like, I just set on a journey to figure that out. And I had seen processes where metal is buffed to extreme mirror perfection in like this place called Aranmula Kannadi, like this place in Kerala, Aranmula, where the mirror is worshipped and also like the polishing happens. This alloy is polished to mirror finish. So I think somewhere they all came together somehow, and this happened, like I think I don't know the exact things that happened, but it's like alchemy, I guess. It just happened. And I'm happy about it. I'm very excited. And I don't think I've been this happy about something for such a long time. It's like I do have probably ADHD or something. I get bored. I want to try something else. This has been like I'm feeling good. Like I feel like I can continue doing this kind of feeling.
And how does selecting color play into these works?
When I make the silver thing, I let it tarnish a little bit, maybe a day, and then I seal it. And then the silver itself has little tones that it give out. It gives out. You know, the tarnish gives a little. You feel it, you see it, and you can see this is a warm one, and this is a little blue, or you feel that. And all my colors are derived from Mysore traditional painting colors, because one thing that stuck, other than the details in Mysore traditional painting, the other thing that comes to my brain are the colors, because they're these jewel toned colors. And I remember painting them as a kid. I remember feeling the joy of these colors. So I do have a kind of a palette which I play with, which kind of repeats. I think people may be getting bored of it because there seem to be this few colors from Mysore traditional painting that keep on coming back, and I'm really enjoying it. That's how I choose colors.
What are you excited about right now? You have bragging rights, so please brag. You've had several exhibitions, right?
I have. I just finished my big solo, which happened in Delhi, Bikaner House. And then there's a NGMA group show that's coming up. That is National Gallery of Modern Art in Delhi. I'm also excited. I was supposed to have a solo show in Dubai that I think might get postponed now. But a lot of new things. I may do a solo show in US with my old gallerist, Alisa Setti. A lot of new opportunities, a lot of people excited about my work. I'm feeling the love, and it's exciting. And I'm also working with the senior curator on a museum kind of thing he's doing, which is exciting. So a lot of new stuff happening in life.
So as an artist, what would you say have been the most substantial challenges that you've encountered?
I think my biggest challenge has been how to stay an artist, because I got married super early. I studied art, which was tough, in itself to explain to people. And then we moved around the world. I had young kids. It's been tough in that sense. My balancing personal life and staying an artist. I think I feel most proud of that I didn't give up, because things were so hard. A lot of people give up, when they don't have money or they don't have encouragement or they're busy with young kids or whatever, right? People give up. And I didn't give up, because I would have died if I gave up. So, I think that's the biggest challenge. Honestly, if I'm left alone and I just made art, I don't think I find it challenging at all. But balancing it, and while doing both well also, right? You can't just, having kids is one of the biggest responsibilities a human being can take. And it's hard. It's not easy. And balancing both has been tough. And I'm happy it's my kids are grown up now. And now I'm a young student again, ready to fly. And I'm getting love from everyone at the right time.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
When you're creating, do you think about your audience?
No, I'm a selfish artist. I don't think about audience. And I do think they should like whatever I make. I don't think people should ask me, in fact, I get upset if people try to tell me what to make. I cannot. It's tough for me to change, because I feel like I would be a designer if I wanted to do that. And I feel like all is it's a risk being an artist. You may never make money or whatever, right? I've taken the risk to be exactly however I want to be. So I just do what I want.
When people see your work, the mirrors,
Yeah.
what kind of questions do they ask you?
Mostly people want to know how I made it, which annoys me, because I'm like, that's not the point. But that's okay. They get curious about that. But I do think people do realize what it is. People seem to be enamored by it. They love it. Mm-hmm. It's sold quite a bit. In fact, I'm unable to make as many as people want. I think people are upset with me because somebody's waiting for 6 months, and it just recently, the varnish we were in a hurry, and the varnish got a little touched by somebody and got ruined, and now I'm I have to redo that again. So people are waiting. So there's a lot of love. Mostly they want to know how I make it, but then they get excited about the image that they see, which is of themselves. And the funny thing is, I also had this idea when I was in Italy in a museum. I remember there was this museum, there was no mirror there. And I was I had this intense desire to see myself. And I remember thinking, back then, this was like long time back before I started thinking about what's a perfect image to paint. But even then, I know that people like mirrors.
What do you feel is the purpose of art?
I don't know. I don't know what's the purpose. I feel like it's like I cannot live without it. It's like breathing, and it's like maybe a portal of sensing things, discovery, understanding oneself. It's like a spiritual practice, maybe. I don't know. It's a way of understanding. I don't know. I actually don't know. I've never questioned it. My dad made films that were bridge films, but then there's a difference between what cinema is. For him, it was a communication thing about ideas and ethics and morality and whatever, right? So he had written this sentence, art is edutainment or something like that. And I have that paper somewhere. But for me, it's like a breathing practice.
I've enjoyed our conversation very much, and this is the last question.
Mm-hmm.
How do you want your work to impact the way people think?
I think here and now, if they can think about it, and some of my works have strong feminist thoughts about them, things like that. I do hope that people, when they see it, I hope they feel something I felt also. Maybe it's a way of sharing that experience. You taste something so yummy and you want to share it with somebody and you're like, let me make this for you. See if you want to taste it, kind of thing. Yeah, because it's like, I think it's also like, I thought about it, right? Like I thought if art is such a personal thing, why share it? I question myself, right? It's like, for example, a spiritual guru. If you're such a spiritual person, like why are you talking about it to others? Because it is a personal thing. You're experiencing, you're trying to understand something. Why do you? But I think it's also the excitement. Like, you saw something exciting. You saw this sunrise and you're like, wow, this sunrise is amazing. Come see it, So maybe that's kind of sharing with people. Maybe. So many maybes, right? I'm not sure.
Just keep doing the work. That's all that matters.
Thank you.
I'm glad we had a chance to talk. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Phyllis. Thank you for doing this for me. Thanks.
Thank you for listening to Cerebral Women Art Talks podcast. For additional content, please visit cerebralwomen.com and be sure to follow Cerebral Women on Instagram.